I thought I would leave Performance Max to chapter 6 because it uses pretty much all of the previous chapters' inventory and formats that we've discussed. So you've already got a very good understanding, I hope, of how all of those work and why they work and what they're beneficial to. And Performance Max basically takes all of that, shoves it into one giant machine and runs all of them accordingly at the same time. Great. We no longer need anyone else to run your ad campaigns anymore. You just can do it all. Unfortunately, that's not the case just yet, but it is moving that in that direction. And it's evident with the launch of PMax that that's the way they want things to go. And they're trying to make all the campaign types more approachable to more people, to get more people on the platform and probably to get more people to spend money, basically. But it is useful. It helps smaller businesses to try and use some of these formats. They're quite straightforward to use. I will say though, PMax is a little bit more complicated and it takes some getting used to and some nuances. If you are just starting out, you're limited with budget, maybe you want to stick to some of the other format types first till you find success in those. And then you might want to broaden out to something like Performance Max a little bit down the line. But search Google Ads on YouTube, probably someone talking about Performance Max will come up. It is what everyone is talking about at the moment, and it is the new shiny, it's not really that new, but it is the new shiny toy for Google. And we're going to go a little bit more detail about the campaign type and what it can be used for. Performance Max is a new goal-based campaign type that allows advertisers to access all Google Ads inventory from a single campaign. As I mentioned, this is everything in one. However, it's a goal-based campaign type. So just as in the discovery campaign, I touched on how a Google employee had told me that it's the recommendation for small businesses because it does also do an awareness job because of its mass, scale, and reach. Same applies for Performance Max here. Huge scale, huge reach, performance-focused bid strategies. Again, a nod towards awareness or brand, but there is no brand or awareness objectives available for this campaign type. So just bear that in mind. PMax is primarily geared towards consideration and conversion. The performance nature of PMax means this campaign type is primarily geared towards targeting lower funnel metrics. This means the automated targeting will naturally skew towards consideration audiences. Here's one of the first distinguishing factors about Performance Max. You don't have a traditional audience set at ad group level. You have what they call audience signals, which are simply not a hard and fast rule. You must target this audience. It's simply a guide that tells Google these types of people convert. So maybe you should go ahead and try with those or that audience first before you go off into the ether and do your own thing. PMax is going to heavily target lower funnel audiences. This campaign type will look to target retargeting audiences and brand terms to drive low-cost conversions. This will do that because it's trying to maximize the conversion value or try to minimize the conversion cost, maximize the conversion value if your goal is a ROAS-based goal. So you need to bear that in mind. If you're running a lot of brand search campaigns already, this will have an impact on that. If you're running shopping campaigns already, this will have an impact on that. If you're running discovery campaigns, this will impact that. This will take over everything it needs to take over. So just remember that if you've already got lots of campaigns running, you probably will see the performance of your other campaigns fall. I've even seen a $5 a day Performance Max campaign wipe out a $250 a day shopping campaign. It just stopped spending completely and just spent $5 on the Performance Max campaign. So just be careful with this because it interacts with other campaign types in different ways. Google are working on it and lots of changes are constantly being rolled out. Keep up to date with the latest changes and how things are impacting different campaigns. But as you're aware, it rolls in all different campaign types and it's a performance-based full funnel approach, we can say. Not really. So with that in mind, we're going to come towards some of the benefits now and some of the pros of using PMax campaign type. So it helps you drive performance based on your specified conversion goal, delivering more conversions and value, which allow you to unlock new audiences. So with Google's real-time understanding of consumer intent and preferences, Performance Max can unlock new customer segments that you may not have expected. So what this really means is that probably going to give some audience signals to Google. So you're going to set up your PMax campaign and you're going to say, hey, I'm selling wallets. And from past experience, I know the in-market audience for wallets convert well. They buy wallets from me. So here's the audience signal. Go and try that audience first. So PMax is going to go out and it's going to go and hit that audience initially. And it's going to start driving some conversions and collect data. Then after that, it's going to start expanding its reach outside of that. And it's going to start looking at new audiences. So it's going to say, okay, within the in-market for wallets audience, this bucket of people within that audience, they actually were the ones that bought the wallet. Okay, so what do those audiences look like? What are their attributes? What's their demographic? What other interests do they have? What do they share? And it's going to look and it's going to try and connect those audiences together and essentially then go and find those audiences or model those audiences and find them across different audience groups. And then what that will do is it will start picking up users who are converting, who are outside of the in-market for wallets. So then you're going to start having conversions coming from different audience segments and you're going to be able to see those segments broken out. So that is going to be really useful to understand the different types of audiences that are interested in your brand and product. So this is great for future strategy building, for other existing campaigns you've got running, things like that. So it's going to help. That's what it means by unlock new audiences. Drive more value. Machine learning models are used to make more accurate predictions about which ads, audiences, and creative combinations perform best for you. So again, you're using YouTube, display, search, discover, Gmail, maps, everything right here. And if you let Google do its thing, it will figure things out for you, provided it's got enough data. So not only is it going to figure out the best creative, I mean, is it video? Are the people converting coming through search, discovery? Is it most likely multi-touch? Is it a combination of video, discovery, search? Is it a combination of maps, display, and something else? It's going to figure that out for you, and it's going to deliver it in that manner and across the different inventory types as well. You've got this amalgamation of machine learning, which is optimizing delivery across inventory and format, and also type of format and type of creative running. So it's quite sophisticated. There's a lot going on that we can't necessarily do in real time. Acquire rich insights. Performance Max asset reporting, what we just touched on, can help you understand which creatives are impacting performance and help you optimize campaign creatives to drive ROI, return on investment. And this is kind of gets in the meat of things a little bit here. This shows you the amount of creative and assets that you need to add in order to run these types of campaigns. And it is a lot. And if you're stretched with time and budget for getting creatives built, then it might not be the campaign for you to dive into immediately. If you've got an established campaign, established count, 100% you should be running PMax or at least testing it. The specifications and the requirements are images, up to 15 images. You need logos, up to 15 logos. I honestly don't know why you'd need 15 logos, but the option is there. If you want to do some testing on your new logo, which one resonates best with people, but square logo and also landscape logo. You can add up to 5 videos, so you need some video content. They need to be more than 10 seconds as well. So you also need to add up to 5 headlines, maximum of 30 characters, add up to 5 long headlines, up to 90 characters, and 1 short description with 60 characters and 4 descriptions with 90 characters. And also your call to actions and your display URL parts and your business names and so on. So as you can see, There's a lot to get done there. Just make sure you don't sacrifice the quality of your images, your videos, your headlines and descriptions and all of that in order to get this running, because we know how important our creative messaging is in determining the success of our campaign. So don't cheap out on it. If you need to pay someone, if you need to outsource it, get it done properly, get it done well, and it will pay itself back in the long run. All of that madness behind, we now need to understand the structure. And this is where things get a little bit, can get a little bit confusing. As with our shopping campaigns, you'll notice on the left-hand side, your structure is slightly different. So we still have campaign level. However, this time we have asset group level. And within the asset group level, you've got your listing groups. So if you're using a product feed, it will be the products within there and your assets. So all of the assets we just spoke about, videos, your headlines, descriptions, images, logos, etc. And your signals. And signals are your audiences that you're going to give to Performance Max to guide it in the right direction. Doesn't mean it's going to target that audience on its own. It means it might, as well as the key word here, might start with that audience and then expand out. So in terms of structure, I'm going to take you through two different structures, one for sales and one for lead generation. One thing I will say before though is if your spend is on the smaller side, then try not to overload campaigns with asset groups. Simplify it to start with. You can always separate things out further as you go. Try to keep it simple, especially if you've got lower budgets, because otherwise, if you don't have large enough budgets, you don't have enough account data or purchase data within the account already, it's going to really struggle to find success. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get frustrated with it and you're going to say, this doesn't work, turn it off, don't bother with it, don't look at it, don't touch it again. Back into the structure. So let's start with the sales structure. So for sales, we're going to build a campaign and we're selling men's wallets, right? What I want to do next is I'm actually going to separate men's wallets out into different asset groups. So 2 different asset groups. And I'm going to name these asset groups based on the signals I'm giving it. For the first one, I want this to be an interest and demographic based signals. And for the second asset group, I want this to be an in-market for wallets signals. Now I want to go in to my listing group, my product feed, and I want to select wallets only because this is for a wallet campaign. And likewise for the in-market asset group, I want to select wallets only in my product feed as well. Then I want to have my assets for each. And I think with the assets, you can probably keep them fairly generic. Bundle all your assets in, your videos, headlines, etc., all into each ad group as well. Then after that, you're going to add your signals. So for the interest and demographic asset group, I want to add an interest audience or a demographic audience only as my signals. And for my in-market asset group, I want to add an in-market for wallets audience as my primary signal. And setting a campaign up like this allows you to see which sort of audiences are performing better and allows you to have that better view of performance by audience and by asset type and things like that. So that's why we want to set it up like this. The difference comes when we look at lead gen. For lead gen, the example I'm giving here is people who are in market for Google Ads services, let's say. So I'm going to call this one lead gen Google Ads services. And the asset type the asset group I want to have is an in-market audience for Google Ads services. Now, let's say there's another audience I know who buy my services a lot or convert or a lot on my website, and that's in market for marketing services. Then create a new campaign for that. Split it by campaign, one asset group, one campaign. Then again, you just want to go in and you want to remove the feed in this case. And then you want to add your assets in again, and then you want to add your signal. So in this case, audiences who are interested in Google Ads services. Or for my second campaign, audiences who are interested in marketing services. So that's the basic structure. A lot to digest there. So if you need, go back, rewatch, read some more information on Google's website about Performance Max. ask questions to myself in the Discord or on the website, up to you. If you're all clear on that, then we will actually move into the demonstration where we're going to set up a campaign. So I'll see you in the next video.